Morning everyone, it's Jake here at the Thaguna Lease, and we had a question about crossbreeding, and I thought I'd quickly tell you what we're trying to achieve with our Ngoni genetics and how we're doing it. So obviously we've selected the Ngoni cow, which this is not. This is a 12-year-old shorthorn cow, but we've selected the Ngoni cow as the animal that as the genetic line that we're heading towards in our operation for a range of reasons, which I've covered in many other videos. But they're early maturing, small body frame, highly fertile, long living, and they do very well on low quality pastures. Looking around here on the river flats here of the Murray River in Australia, why would we want an animal that does well on low quality pastures? Well, if you follow this channel through summer, you'll see we go quite brittle for 4 or 5 months of the year and have low quality feed standing in the paddocks. And I'm not too interested in carting out feed to my animals. I'd like them to be able to graze that stockpile. There's not many purebred Ngoni cattle in Australia. It takes a number of years to breed numbers up, and the South African farmers that have come over and brought genetics with them, they're giving it a crack, but it takes some time. Last I heard it estimated, they said that there was around probably 300 purebred Ngoni cows in the country. Now obviously you can only get a purebred animal from a purebred set of parents, and the cows are being jealously held. To give you an idea, I purchased 2 purebred Ngoni cows 2 years ago. They were 8 years old each. They had bull calves at foot and they were in calf, so they were 3-for-1 deals, and I paid $8,000 for each unit. So that was $8,000 for an 8-year-old cow, a bull calf, and a baby in the belly. Fast forward to now, and I've just had my, what have I had? 1, 2, just had getting my 3rd calves out of them now. So they're they're just breeding. They're doing a fantastic job. But if you want to get into the genetics, the most cost-effective and quickest way to splash it over your herd is to get an Ngoni bull. Now, not many people are selling Ngoni cows, and when they do, they're expensive and likely old because everyone wants to keep them. But there's heaps of bulls. So you buy a bull, 5 grand, 6 grand, 8 grand, 10 grand, pick your bull and throw it over whatever cows you have. So we already had these shorthorns. We had some Jerseys for different reasons. We've got some Herefords, we've got some Drought Masters. Back then we were trading, so we were buying young animals, fattening them up and putting them through the butchery and just buying stockers in and out. And look at these beautiful little calves here. See that one right there? That's a 3rd cross. And that's what I'm gonna tell you about at the moment. So we've got a purebred Ngoni bull in, and we put it over, let's say, can you see her in the shade? Put her over a shorthorn cow. So we've got a purebred shorthorn female and a purebred Ngoni bull. And the calf is 50-50. It's half shorthorn from its mum and it's half Ngoni from its dad. And we would call that a first cross. And then in our program, if that's a female, these 3 rodeo cattle have never come up to me like this before. I bought them believing they're Ngoni. I do not believe they're Ngoni. I think they've got a little bit of everything in them, and they're quite high-headed and aggressive. But anyway, that's your first cross. And then when you get your first cross, you grow it up, and if it's a female and you like it, you take that 50-50 cow, heifer, and you put a purebred Ngoni bull over the top, and you get a little baby that's a 2nd cross. Now, if dad is 100% purebred and mum's 50%, that calf, that 2nd cross calf, has now just been upgraded to 75%, which is what that is. See that little calf there? I'm sorry if it's very dark. I don't want to put too much pressure on these rodeo cows because I'm appreciating how calm they are and how close they're letting me get. I wouldn't normally let my animals have a paddock this large. But as I joint my mob with these rodeo cows to get them to, they're not actually from a rodeo, but that's how they act. And I just wanted to give them some space so they weren't chasing each other, running through hot wires and learning bad habits. So I'm just going to give them a week in this big paddock to all get to know each other, and then we'll be back behind hot wire for fast moves around the farm. Anyway, I'm trying to show you this 2nd cross calf, which is this gorgeous. And to give you an idea, that little one there is a 1st cross out of a Jersey. And then if we take that 2nd cross heifer and grow it out, and she's 75%, and daddy's a purebred Ngoni, and we breed that Ngoni bull. Over that second cross calf, we come to a third cross, which is 87.5%. Fourth cross, what are we? 92.5% or 92.75%, something like that. And a lot of people would start to call a fourth cross purebred, because it'll look like an Ngoni, it'll sound like an Ngoni, it'll graze like an Ngoni. It'll never be a pure-blooded, unadulterated Ngoni, but we're getting pretty close. And I think most people, if you had a fifth cross animal, they wouldn't give you any grief over that. You can see this Ngoni steer. This is a purebred Ngoni steer here. And you can see it's got some ringworm around its eyes. That's a fungal infection. I think there's only 2 animals in this mob. And this is the first time I've ever had ringworm, but when you're trading in animals in and out all the time, these weren't born here. That can happen. It's not lethal to the animals, and it's generally signaling copper deficiency. Hey, darling. So I'm going to throw out some copper blocks and let them have a bit of a lick. Copper's a great health tonic. You're beautiful. Who are you? This is a 16 model, so you're an 8-year-old fat Jersey. I like fat jerseys. I really like you. You're lovely. How's that for a Jersey? There's another Ngoni steer, and there's another one over there. Hey. There are some other animals in here I wanted to show you, and one of them is this bull here, a bull calf. Oh, yeah, you're lovely. Are you showing off to everyone? You want to be a YouTube star, hey? Oh, now you're giving me headbutts. Oh, well, you need to be gentle with me. I'm a lot smaller than you. I'm a lot smaller. He's not really a bull calf. He's a bit bigger than that now, but this first cross here, not this one, behind. Now that's a shorthorn Ngoni first cross, and he is so well fleshed, dark, slick, oily neck. He was only a couple weeks old, and he had that testosterone neck. See, it's already bulking up. Beautiful, slick, nice gut capacity. I couldn't band him, folks. I was watching him, and he's it's probably, you know, calf number 90 or so that we've had out of Bomvu, the father back here with the horns grazing. He throws a lot of predominantly solid red calves, and he just exuded masculinity as far as I'm concerned, amongst his peers anyway. And he was naturally polled, and he's not going to be much good to me in my breeding program, but he's just a good animal, and sometimes we just need good animals. So I really should draft him out of this mob, because there's every chance that he's making some animals pregnant, which is going to upset me tracking what's going on. But it is what it is. Now this animal here, see this cow? That's a first cross cow. So that animal there's mother was a Hereford and father was an Ngoni bull. And same with that one. So that mother there, that cow, that's about I think we're getting a 6-year-old cow. That's its 5th calf at foot. I bought them at 3 and they'd already had 2 calves, and that's the 3rd calf that cow's given me. So that's a first cross cow with a 2nd cross calf at foot. And the first cross cows that I got in my mob here, I've got purebred Herefords, like this one here. It would be 30% smaller. Like look at how, oh, that's a shorthorn. Oh, the Hereford's behind it. Let's see if we can get in and, hey Bomvu, you're gonna be nice to me? You're always nice. Very well mannered animal. I think he knows no one's threatening him around here. This thing, that is a purebred Hereford that was actually born here. Don't know if you can tell out in the video, but that is an enormous, just the capacity of that is an enormous animal. You probably weigh more than the bull. And the first crosses have run away, but they would be 30-40% smaller than this animal, which is what we're going for many reasons. A new development is I can't slaughter that. I can't send that to the abattoir. They'll reject it. Too heavy. What do? I have to go sell it at the yards, and because it's got horns and it's the wrong colour, I go back to being a price taker, which deeply offends me. I'm a price maker, not a price taker. So that's all right. We'll work around that. I've been speaking to other abattoirs, and you know, maybe once every 6 months we'll load up a few of our big culls with horns, and they're over that 600 kilo live weight limit. We'll send them to another abattoir. We can work around it. It's no problem. But long term, we don't want to be messing around with these sorts of shenanigans. Hey, you're lovely and tame, aren't you? I've scratched Bombu in the paddock before. He's normally very lovely. There's another Ngoni steer. He's probably the pick of them. He'd blend into just about any Aussie farm with red cattle, and he wouldn't get discounted at the market. He's a good animal. And you're getting to be a nice fella, aren't you? Eh? Anyway, guys, I hope that clears up that terminology a little bit. First cross, second cross. Got a big head on you. These Ngoni bulls have massive heads. Look at the horns. People go, don't your animals harm themselves, harm each other at the trough? He knows exactly where the tips of his horns are. You see him playing with the branch there? He knows exactly. That's a brand. Some people think he's got wounds on him. They're actually brands. Some of the bulls do have wounds because they do fight. Let's see if we can show you this first cross. No. Yeah. There's one of my chicken sheds in the background. I can't remember how old he is. I didn't tag him when he was born because his mum wouldn't let me. There's a cut on his side. See that? See that scratch, that scar? Someone's tipped him. Maybe he fights with a lot of the cows in here actually. Locks horns with them. Well, they've got horns and he doesn't. He still goes for them. I'm just going to wander over here and check my trough and make sure this lot have water. There's the three amigos. Guys, I'm enjoying the YouTubes. It's good to be on here. I actually appreciate that it sort of makes me pull out my camera and really stop and look at things. It's nice to take time and document. I'm often flicking back through my photos and going, what's the grass look like in September last year and the year before and the year before? It's easy to sort of forget and lose your bearings and your comparisons, and the videos are an even better resource for that. If I left them in this paddock a long time, they'd come and start chewing all these developing flower heads off. The leaves are too prickly for them, but they'll take those flower heads. And here's a few of my beehives. I've got about 30 hives across my two properties, and I'll be taking a bunch of these up to Womargama soon. I'm getting a spot ready. We just put them on a pallet so they're off the ground a little bit so grass doesn't block up the doors, and we'll be able to keep a bit of a better eye on them at home. Trough's running well. Yeah, great. All right, guys. Have a fantastic day.